Moreover, human thoughts are also responsible for the fate of the outer material world. They are a spatial force and either purify or pollute our environment. Like a grey swarm infecting the air, fragments of alien thoughts rush about and gradually encumber space. Man, remember that you have been designated a guardian of space. You can restore health to it or can defile it. With your every breath you send either restoration of health or destruction into space. With their thinking, people poison their surroundings and transform them into chaos. The aura of the earth as a whole is created not only by the words and deeds, but above all by the thoughts of humanity. Under the law of correspondence, this aura, according to its nature, attracts either good or bad currents, beings, and possibilities. It is necessary to create a better atmosphere in our daily life by the purifying of thought. In such a way we shall attract better possibilities. Thought is a magnet, and each dark thought creates a stratum of heavy fluids which are attracted and gathered by similar consciousnesses. Will we not be foolish in breeding such dark thoughts? Unfortunately, humanity as a whole harbors predominantly negative, harmful thoughts instead of useful ones. It is possible to verify the sum total of all the thoughts simultaneously flying through the world. It is instructive to learn what humanity is thinking of each minute. The result will be utterly unexpected. It is possible to divide thoughts into a few categories, and one will find that only a very small number is directed to the common good. Such calculations result in the most frightening conclusions. This creates a bad, downright polluted aura or atmosphere around the earth. Therefore, there is no way by which one can escape responsibility. Even the smallest thought enters into the megaphone of space and attracts to itself the same kind of locust, causing the smoky atmosphere of the planet. Thought can purify by destroying the microbes of disintegration, but it can likewise attract unbridled elements. The composition of the earthly atmosphere is saturated by all the emanations arising from all the actions, thoughts, and vices of humanity. The atmosphere becomes a reflection of what is taking place on earth. The equilibrium of the world can only then ensue when humanity shall manifest higher radiations, because all the spheres surrounding the planet are infected by the emanations from earthly actions. Our thoughts are actually making the Earth sick. The consequences of this garbage of thought cause the illness of the planet. The condition of the planet is becoming worse because of the consciousness of humanity. Malice and hatred are enveloping Earth with a ruinous shroud. Do not think that these reminders are simply abstract moral precepts. The planet is ill, and people add to its destruction. Because the aura of the Earth is brown, no higher rays or energies can get through down to us. The strata above the Earth are so filled with the display of lustfulness that rays piercing these strata must be increased threefold. Spatial currents, beneficial in their essence, can become destructive when they contact the foul atmosphere of Earth. Often the most beneficial chemical compounds can be made into virulent poisons by the addition of a single ingredient. The same takes place when spatial currents are affected by the brown gases of Earth. The planet itself is not to blame for these harmful fumes. It is the king of the planet, man, who produces the poisons. No emanations are as powerful as those of man, who is capable both of healing and poisoning everything around him. It is not so much the infectious sickness of people that poison the atmosphere, but their irritation, anger, and malice. This disturbs or even blocks the connection with higher, purer spheres. The center of all manifestations is mankind. Vibrations are so disharmonious that it is difficult to establish a connection with the higher worlds. Therefore, the lower strata can admit the infiltration of low vibrations, while higher radiations do not reach the Earth. Is not the destruction of the environment the main reason for the dire condition of the Earth? No. In fact, mental pollution is far worse than any physical soiling. For the sake of cosmos, man must not think hideously. A small thought, unrealized, erratic, and unstable, will not give a creative impulse and can even inflict harm. Insignificant thoughts form, as it were, ugly conglomerates and pollute space. We call them spatial slime. Much energy is wasted in transmuting these stillborn monsters. One can imagine how greatly spatial production could be increased, were it not for these progenies of man. The average result of civilization is complete degeneration in quality of thought. Not rare are the instances of the harm of petty thoughts. Precisely this thought pollution is responsible for epidemics, diseases, climate changes, deserts, droughts, and even earthquakes. Man has created and is creating his own environment in a much more specific way than is generally understood. He is responsible for all the pestilence, famine, and plague which devastate the earth. He has made his world what it is by the exercise of the all-powerful energies of will, desire, and mind, and he alone can change it. Certainly much can be improved in the human consciousness if we know that even earthquakes are called forth by the spirit of humanity. A strong spirit can save a whole area from earthquake. Thus, in the ancient days, the great teachers sent their advanced disciples to places threatened by earthquakes. I'm sorry, but I can't believe that. This is superstition from the darkest Middle Ages. How can mere thoughts have such far-reaching material consequences? To understand this, you should regard the earth as a whole, as a living organism. The planet is a living organism. Everything related to the planet is coordinated as the organs of a single body. Therefore, it is impossible to regard each being as an isolated individual. All beings belong to one organization, and they must regard themselves as responsible members of a community. True, a planet is a living organism, for in the cosmos not a single atom is devoid of life, consciousness, or spirit. And in the ancient philosophical writings one encounters the comparison of Earth with a huge animal, having its own peculiar life, and therefore its own consciousness, or revelation of spirit. Then you will recognize the scientific fact that, as with the human body, so also with the earth, the spiritual causes of diseases are of much greater importance than the physical ones. Would a year of famine, of drought, of disease not be the result of mass degeneration of thought? Without a doubt, there is a disturbance of climatic conditions. Isn't humanity's spirit responsible for this dangerous manifestation? But the salvation of the planet as well is in our hands. Good thoughts will be the best purifier of one's surroundings. Rendering the planet healthful rests in the hands of all humanity. First of all, it must be understood that man makes healthy not only himself, but also all his surroundings. Discipline of thought will inevitably lead up to the highest fiery spheres. Instead of becoming a source of infection, man can become a purifier of space.